Viva los tres chingones. What's going on, man? Shout outs to all our chingones and chingonas out there, man. Welcome to Los Tres Chingones Boxing. We got us a good one. Personally, my favorite fighter in the sport of boxing right now, man. I just love watching this kid fight, and I can't wait to see him fight and grow, man. I think this kid, I see something special in him. But we're going to get into all that as well, more that's going on in the boxing news. Let's go ahead and let's bring in the OG Chingon right here, man, from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. One, Mr. David Contreras.
Hey Ed, what's going on, man? When you called me or when you text me earlier today, you go, "Hey, you ready for the show tonight instead of tomorrow because you're gonna be out of town?"
Yeah.
Dude, that's all I've been thinking about, man. Just about the show because, like I tell everybody, whether we have one listener or whether we have 1,000, it really doesn't matter because we're not in it for the money, man. We're in it for the passion. You know what I mean? We love boxing. I look forward when I'm on the show with you and with Mike, or we have the Spanish show, just being able to talk about something that we really love and want to watch and experience. Dude, what an honor, man, that we were able to do that. Mil gracias de todo corazón.
Yeah. I mean, man, the feeling is mutual. For everybody who's watching, Mike, we're not sure if he's a jump on or not. Usually we do this on Fridays just so
Yeah.
we could watch the weigh-in and see what's really going on. I am gonna be out of town. I got a bachelor weekend to do. So wish me luck. My buddy of mine's getting married, so we're gonna go out there and celebrate his last days before he gets the old ball and chain. God, doing life, man, por vida. No, but it's a blessing.
Yeah.
Man, David, first of all, shout out to Reyes Brothers. Disco, what's going on, carnal? Shout outs to everybody who's watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. What is up, Joaquin?
Yeah, órale, Joaquin. I like
Yeah,
Joaquin.
from New
Yeah.
Mexico, man. What's going on, big dog? Before we get into the fight at hand, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about there was supposed to be another fight that was supposed to take place this coming weekend, David.
Yeah.
And
On
that was the
Sunday.
Jake Paul
Mhm.
versus the Rockman fight.
Yes.
That fight got canceled about 3, 4, 5 days ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Um did you keep up on that? Did you watch why it was canceled? Did you see all the news? Did you hear both
Yeah.
sides?
Ed, one of the things when we came on and you talked about it, I didn't know anything about Jake Paul. I didn't know anything about YouTubers. But, as we're talking, I go, I'm going to do a little bit of research because I like boxing, real professional boxers. But I saw one of their last interviews before the fight was canceled. And you know what? There is some real bad blood between those two guys. And I was actually, believe it or not, looking forward to watching this guy. I've never seen one of the Paul fights, whether they fought Mayweather or whomever they fought. I've never paid to see him. And like I said, I was actually looking forward to it. But yes, once again, it was canceled because I guess Rockman, when they first gave him the contract, which was like 2 months ago, was weighing, I believe, 226. And I guess when this is a sanctioned fight, they kept weights. They kept checking his weight every 3 weeks. And as of 2 weeks ago, he was at 215. And there was no way that he was going to go down to 200 pounds. He had to be down to 200 pounds this Sunday. So they automatically canceled it almost a little less than a week ago because of that, because he did not go down. But, one of the things that I can't believe is just because the commission canceled it a week ago. I mean, we know that these guys sometimes they cut 10 pounds overnight. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it might be to protect him, or it just might be that maybe Jake Paul, that's his name, right? That
Yeah,
he
yeah.
possibly saw the writing on the wall. Hey, this guy's a real deal, and he might be really getting in shape because one of the things that they talked a lot about him having a problem was he gets winded right away. And
Mhm.
maybe he just found out that he was actually training hard for this fight. So, I mean, that was the easiest way to pull the carpet under him. What do you think, Ed?
Well, it all depends what you want to believe, right?
Yeah,
The one thing. Well, let me give my thoughts first, and
yeah,
then we'll go to the actual fact. Um, Rockman was already a replacement.
yes,
But there is a contract out there. You were supposed to meet some sort of demand with the weigh-in. Apparently, the sanctioning body was like, "Hey, listen, we want to make sure you're doing this healthy. Whether people believe that or not, that I don't know.
yeah,
I'm just going off of hearsay
mhm,
that Rockman was supposed to be cutting weight, you know, in good steps. It's not like, hey, 1 week before the fight, you're able to drop 20 pounds. Like that. That wasn't gonna fly. They wanted to make sure he was doing it in a healthy manner. And that's where the problem came in. Now, supposedly,
mhm,
Jake Paul, when Rockman's team told Jake Paul, listen, let's go ahead and let's make it at 205. Once they saw that Rockman was not going to be able to hit
yes. I
200.
forgot about that. Yes.
Right. So apparently, Jake Paul's team said, cool, Friedman, let's go ahead. Let's do it 5 more pounds. And that still wasn't good enough. Uh, Depending on what side you want to believe, hey, man, there it is. I think I no man, I'm believing Jake Paul. I think
Yeah.
he did. I think he did want to fight.
Mhm.
Um, he had it set up with Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is a clown. He just kind of pulls out, comes up with whatever. Oh, now I can't enter the United States, and he probably really can't.
Yeah.
Now there's this. Now that guy, he's having problems meeting up with what he signed with the contract. So I'm not really gonna fault Jake Paul on this. I understand people don't like him. I get it. I understand that. Saying like, oh, they're trying to drain him down. They're trying to, give him the advantage so he could win, man. So they're trying to drain down Rockman, and they knew he wasn't gonna make weight. And now look, maybe that's true.
Mhm.
Maybe that is true. But here's the thing: Rockman signed the contract. He
Yeah.
agreed to it. I'm gonna say this, David. I'm gonna say this.
Mhm.
There are rumors. Okay, there are rumors that the reason why this fight was canceled was because tickets weren't selling. I think it was gonna
You know,
happen
that's probably true.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
gonna happen in New York. I think in
Uh-huh.
Madison Square Garden.
Yes, it was Madison Square Garden.
Okay. Rumor has it that tickets weren't selling. Man, what do you
Yeah.
think about that?
I believe it. What do you think? I'm not a huge fan of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I could tell you stories about him, personal stories. But what do you think about him fighting Jake Paul at 190?
Who-
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
You
I
know
mean, what do
what?
you
I'm
think?
gonna tell. Look, you know what? You know
I
what?
mean, the guy's a
Da-
clown, man.
no,
You
David,
know?
David. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I would pay that. I would buy that pay per
Oh, I
view.
mean, you got
I would.
the legend son. You got all of Mexico. I mean, people will still watch that clown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, could you imagine him fighting him at 190? I mean, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. walks around at 200. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
at 190 or even 195. I mean, Julio Cesar needs so much money right now that he would literally come in at 190, put rocks in his pants at the weigh-in. You know what I
Mm,
mean? To weigh
mm.
200. What do you? I think that would be a good fight, man. What do you think?
Just like you, David.
Uh-huh.
I've never paid to watch
Uh-huh.
any of these Paul brothers fight.
Yeah.
I think one time it was his brother Logan Paul who fought some
Uh-huh.
other YouTuber called KSI. That
Uh-huh.
was not pay per view. That was like on a streaming app or something, and I watched it. But that's because I
Yeah.
had the streaming app.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I haven't paid to watch
Yeah.
any of these fights. I went ahead and watched them afterwards for free.
Yeah.
But that fight, Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., for
Yeah.
one reason or another, I would pay. I would
And
pay
you
to
know
watch
what? And
that
they
fight.
should have it in LA. The
Oh
reason
yeah.
why, porque es
Oh
bien
yeah.
marihuano, el hijo de Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
This way he could smoke all the weed he wants because it's illegal in New York. And
Uh,
in LA, he could smoke all the weed he wants and he'll be okay with it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Hey, ¿qué
that
pasó,
would
ese Benny? How you doing, brother?
be yeah.
What
What's
do you
going
think?
on, Jesus? And
Yeah,
Pomono Soul Sounds is in here,
I saw
man.
that, man. That is
Hey,
awesome, man.
let me
Órale.
let me just go ahead and give them a plug real quick, man.
Yeah,
You guys,
yeah,
if you guys don't know what real music sounds like,
that's right.
go to this man's channel right here. He's gonna show you guys what real music sounds like. What's up, Jesus M? Ese Benny out there in the box
Órale,
state.
bro.
What's going on, carnal? Um, no, I'm gonna say this, man.
But what do you think? Would you see
y-
it?
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, I would. I
And
would
it's a
definitely
good
watch
test,
it.
right?
Yeah,
It's a good
yes,
test.
yes.
Yeah,
Because Chavez Jr. is a boxer, not a
he
good one.
is.
He's
Yeah.
not a good one, but he
No.
is a boxer,
Yes.
and he's got a lot of fights under his belt.
Yes.
So I would definitely watch it, and I think Jake Paul stands a chance.
Oh yeah. Well, no
Yeah,
doubt. I
yeah,
think it'd be a great fight. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And then there's no doubt Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. would be there, Omar, the whole family would be there. And I mean, they bring in people, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Ya llega
yeah.
bien marihuano el Junior y ponle.
He could go in there with his hot pink
Exactly.
speedos, man, and put on a show, man.
Exactly,
That'd
man.
be no that'd be
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
pay for that, and especially how they put the undercard. They put real upcoming fighters in the undercard.
Yeah.
Definitely, I would support, and that's kind of why I feel bad on this one,
Yeah.
David. Is the fact that it's all the fighters in the undercard. They're
Yeah.
not gonna get a chance to fight. Um, who do
And
you
you
who
know
do you
what?
blame? Who do you blame? What side do you blame?
You know what?
This fight not
Before I
happening.
tell you that, and you know what? You can make this a Mexico versus Puerto Rico because then you got Amanda Serrano. You put her
Mm,
against a Mexican fighter, maybe Ceniza
mhm,
Estrada. You know what I mean? A Mexican
mhm.
fighter. I don't know if she's too small for her, but
Yeah,
a
Estrada's
Mexican
small.
fighter. You got Jake Paul fighting a Mexicano. Oh,
Mm,
dude, they can make a lot of money. And now you're bringing Mexico in because
mm.
Mexico is going to come in, whether it's a YouTuber or not, just to watch El Loco. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Just to
yeah,
watch
yeah,
El Loco. Who do I blame on this? I think I agree with Pomona Cell that, hey, but before I forget, Pomona Cell, I love oldies. I've loved oldies all my life. And I'll tell you, brother, a couple of weeks ago when I stayed up till 1 in the morning to listen to your show, you know what? I was up till about 3 in the morning, Florida time, and I don't regret it. The
mhm.
songs that you played, hey Holmes, it brought back so many memories, man, of growing up and South San Diego. And hey, gracias. If you guys love oldies, you need to get on YouTube and subscribe to Pomona Soul Sounds. It's the best music. If you like oldies, best music I would say in America, man. It's
Yeah, yeah,
outstanding music. Se avienta. Thank you,
yeah.
Pomona Cell. But I agree with Pomona Cell and with you that I think it was ticket sales.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Yeah. It's a rumor. It's out
yeah.
there, and I'll say this. Look, Rockman. Let's be honest. That guy doesn't sell. Nobody
No,
knows who that
nobody even
vato
knows
is.
him.
Nobody knows who he is, man. It was just gonna be orale. Hey, now he's fighting a real boxer,
Yeah,
right? But it's a boxer that nobody knows. He
no,
doesn't sell. He doesn't bring
yeah,
anything to the table. That's all it really was. At least Tommy Fury had some personality. He was a little bit known because of his
yeah,
brother, Tyson Fury. He brought that fan base from from the UK and
yeah,
stuff like that. But yeah, this fight it wasn't really selling. I don't think it was moving any tickets. That along with the whole weight issue, I think Jake Paul and his team were like, "Hey, listen, we're not really selling many tickets." And this fool is over here talking about let's move from 200 to 205. Now he wants us to move to 215. He's asking for a lot. Let's just scrap the whole damn thing. I will say this is on Rockman. Okay. Uh Look, you signed the contract, man. You signed the contract. This whole thing about like, oh man, they're trying to drain me. Hey, you read the contract. You knew what you had to do. Okay. If you didn't read it, your team wrote it, you read it, or nobody read it. I got no idea, but that's on you guys. That's on you and your team to make sure you guys can accomplish everything on the contract. If you're just looking at the feria, it's like, oh man, this would be a big payday. Okay, cool, but you got to meet up to the standards of where you signed. You
Yeah.
signed that this is what you were going to do. You agreed. So I got no hatred for Jake Paul of people saying like, "Oh man, they're trying to drain him," and then the rehydration clause. Okay, then don't agree to it. Then don't agree. But he did. He wasn't able to meet the standard. Fights off.
Could you imagine that fight in Los Angeles against Chavez? That
That'd
would
be
be
big. That would be
huge,
big.
man.
It would be
That would
big.
be
That's
huge. Oh
that's
yeah. Forget New
that.
York.
Yeah.
I would have it in LA, man.
Oh yeah.
That would
Oh
be a
oh, you
great
have to.
place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, you got to do it. You got
All
to
of
do it.
Mexico would be there just to go see El Payaso, you know?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
all. Yeah.
So hopefully, and by the way, just for Rockman, you missed out because
Yeah, he did.
you're never gonna make a
Yeah.
payday like this. Jake Paul's gonna move on and he's gonna make money
Yeah.
because he does sell. He's not the super duper star, but he's gonna go make money. Rockman, I I don't know where he goes from here, but I do see Jake Paul fighting before the year is over. I do see him fighting before the year
Well,
is over.
Chavez is training. I mean, I see him on I mean not Instagram, on Twitter. He's training. So you know what? I think that'd be a good fight. That'd be an excellent fight.
Listen,
Hopefully, Jake Paul, your team or somebody's watching our show today or somebody knows him, whisper in his ear. Tell him Julio Cesar Chavez said that he'll beat him.
listen,
Uh,
listen. If they
uh,
make that fight
yeah.
and it's somewhere locally, even if it's somewhere
Oh,
like
we're going.
even if it's
Definitely.
in like Vegas or
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that, I'm really gonna
Yeah.
make it a point to be
Yeah.
there, man.
Definitely.
I really
Yeah.
am. That's some pretty good stuff. So that fight's over. It's off. Rockman, I don't know where he goes. Jake Paul, I do see him fighting before the year is over. So with that, David, man, my favorite fighter today is one Mr. Virgil Ortiz. But there's a
Yes.
pretty good card before we get to the main event, man.
Yes.
Enlighten us.
You know what? It's a great card, and I'm going to start off with Beck the Bully. His real name is Bektimar
Yeah.
Makulisef. He's fighting a guy by the name of Sladen John June. I don't know who he is. I didn't get a chance to Google him or to find anything out about him. But I'll tell you, I've been a huge fan of Beck the Bully. That fight against Gabriel Rosado, dude,
That's his first
that was a lucky shot, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Beck the Bully would have tore him up. He was already hurting him in the first and second round, but you know what? He just came up, and that just shows you, like they say in Spanish, colmillo, the experience that Gabriel Rosado had, and he tried to do it again against este muchacho from Tijuana. What's his name?
In,
What's his
in
name?
his last fight?
Yeah, his last fight. He lost against Jaime Mujia.
Yeah.
Jaime Mujia. He tried to do the same thing to Jaime Mujia, but you know what? He knew when it was coming, so he didn't give him the chance to come up with that. I believe it was a low right uppercut that came up and knocked out Beck the Bully. But Beck the Bully, since that fight against Gabriel Rosado, he's came back and he's knocked out his opponents. I see this a great fight. Once again, I see Beck the Bully knocking him out in the second or third round. What do you think about that?
You're saying, wait, Beck the Bully fought Jaime Munguia?
No, Beck the Bully fought Gabriel Rosado,
Yes,
and then
yes.
after Gabriel Rosado knocked out Beck the Bully, he
Yes.
fought Jaime Munguia, and he
Okay,
tried to do the
okay,
exact same
okay.
thing, go under and come up, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't
Okay,
do it because he
okay.
knew it was coming.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
a lucky.
okay.
It was a lucky punch. You know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second. I don't remember Beck the Bully
No,
fighting
no, no, no.
Jaime Munguia.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Beck the Bully. Everyone just calls him Beck the Bully because
Yeah.
man.
The Bully.
Yeah,
Good fighter.
I mean, you could
Yeah.
get hurt, man, just
Yeah.
trying to pronounce his name.
Yes.
He's from Pakistan or something like that.
One of
But
those countries.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like
No,
him.
but
I do.
Joel Diaz trains them.
Yeah,
Out of right now, Joel Diaz has, the stable that Joel Diaz has this past weekend, all of his fighters knocked their fighters out. I'm
mhm.
telling you, Joel Diaz has the United Nations right now in Indio, California. I can't wait. So all three of us can go down there and talk to him
Oh yeah,
because, man, he has great fighters right now. And Beck the Bully's one of them.
He's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
I think he's got like that was his only loss against Gabriel Rosado, and I'm gonna agree
Yes.
with you, David.
Yeah.
It was it happens,
Yeah.
right? It happens. You zig when you should zag. You get caught. Boom.
Yeah.
It's one punch in boxing could end it
Mhm.
all, man.
Yeah.
I do like Beck the Bully.
Mhm.
I think this is only gonna be his 10th or 11th fight. He doesn't have a lot of fights under his belt,
Mhm.
but he's got a lot of. He does have
Knockouts.
yeah, yeah, he
Yeah.
does. And I do like what I see from him. Like you, I don't really know too much about his opponent, but I think
Mhm.
this right here, what is this? His third fight after Gabe Rosado, second fight
I
after
think
Gabe
it's his
Rosado.
second fight after Gabriel Rosado.
Okay.
His last fight, they were a little worried, see if he was going to be a little
Mhm,
gun shy because he's never been knocked down before. He came out and he looked wonderful. And right now, Jesus, I believe, came up and said the bully has no defense, no head movement. He's absolutely right. But
mhm.
his last fight, you know what? That's one thing that Joel Diaz did work on him was head movement. You're absolutely right, Jesus. He worked on it. And you know what? We're going to see a different, you know what? That loss is going to make him better because I believe that he's going to have a better defense and better head movement because that's one thing that I know for a fact that Joel Diaz is working on with him. So I agree with you, Jesus.
Yeah, I agree too. And
Yeah.
maybe they bit off a little bit more than they can chew, putting them in there against a veteran, like a
Mhm.
real veteran in Gabe Rosado so
Yeah.
early. I mean, the guy didn't even have 10 professional fights yet,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So this fight I think is just definitely made. Again, I don't really know too much about his opponent, but I think it's basically made for him just to get a little bit more experience in the
Yes.
professional ranks. And yeah, I'm a fan of his. And Jesus M, I agree with you too, man. His
Yeah.
defense isn't really up to par. He needs a little bit more head movement. He does seem a little bit stiff, but he does seem like his I'm sorry, his punches have a lot of power.
Yeah.
And man, I'm excited to see this guy fight. And let's see what happens with Beck the Bully, man, because I do. He is a fighter that I do want to
Me
watch.
too. I want to
Yeah.
watch him. He's
Yes.
a good knockout. The
Yeah.
other fight is a good fight too. You got Maurice Hooker. He's 27-2, and his only two losses is against Mikey Garcia. And who was the other loss? The other day I remembered who his loss was. We'll remember. And you got Blair Cobbs. Remember
Mhm.
him? He's the one.
Yes.
He's the one that lost against Alex Rocha.
Yes.
Remember? Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Alex Rocha, and he's the one that is a MMA. He should be a WWE
Yes.
for commercials. Remember, he's
Yes.
fighting and against. I mean, this is going to be a good. Maurice Hooker's a little slow for me, but you know what? He's solid. I mean, he's his record is 27-2. And
Mm,
I believe the one loss was against Mikey Garcia, and I believe the second one was against Regis Prograis. So, I mean, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but he's lost against two world champions and
mm.
27-2. So, you know what? And Blair is 15-1. The only loss was against Rocha, but he's never fought anybody at that stature. So I believe this is going to be a good fight. The only reason why is because I see Blair coming at him, attacking him, and I see that one, believe it or not, 50-50. Because yeah, I see it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look. Blair the Flair Cobb.
That's who he
Woo!
is.
He's
The flair.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's quite the character. He gets his
Yeah.
character off the iconic wrestler known as Ric Flair, the Nature Boy.
Oh,
Ric
that's
Flair.
where he gets it
So
from.
that's
Okay.
why he does the woo Blair the
Yeah.
Flair Cobb and everything. And yeah, he's quite the character, man. He's quite the clown. And I think that's why people know who he is.
Yeah.
But he's definitely overrated, man.
Oh,
He's not that good of a fighter. He's not that good of a boxer. I think what he doesn't even have 20 fights. But he's known because he has a lot of character. He
uh-huh.
brings that. He knows how to sell himself.
Mhm.
So he's got the crazy hair and everything, and he's good on the mic. He knows how to cut some
He
promos.
does. He does,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maurice Hooker, this guy's a veteran in the sport, and I believe, and anybody could correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's a Marine veteran. I think he was in the Marine.
No, I think you're talking about the guy that just retired. I remember his name.
He
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
to Jose
Oh,
Ramirez
Jose Ramirez and Virgil Ortiz.
and
That's
Virgil
who he
Ortiz.
lost
That's who he
against.
lost to. That's who he lost
Yes,
to. Yeah,
yes,
yeah. Um,
yes. Thank you,
I like,
Pomona Sal.
yeah.
Yes.
I like Maurice Hooker.
Mhm.
The guy carries himself well. I
Yeah.
don't think Maurice Hooker is, on the top tier level. He's definitely a good boxer. He's a good fighter, but I just don't see him as top shelf
No.
level of a fighter. When it comes to this fight, I think this fight is a pretty good sell. Um, People want to see Blair the Flair Cobb because just he's a clown and everything. But I'm gonna tell you guys, man, I think Maurice Hooker starts taking him apart within in the maybe after the third round. I think Hooker starts taking him apart, starts picking at him, and really starts showing, hey, listen, this is what boxing skills looks like. You over there with your freaking, hair and woo and everything like that, man. I'm gonna start picking you apart. I think Blair Cobb brings a lot of energy. He has some boxing skill. I don't want to say that the guy can't fight at all. Oh, you know what? That's right. I'm thinking about Jamal Herring.
Yes,
That's
Jamal
what I'm
Herring.
thinking about.
Yes.
Jamal Herring. That's
Uh-huh.
right. The Marine veteran. Let me see. Both coming off knockout losses. Should be good. Yeah, I think it should be good. I'm not gonna say Blair Cobb does not. Um, yeah, Hooker is part of the Crawford camp. Yeah, he trains with
Yes.
Crawford. This is why I just think Hooker is a few levels above Cobb. Um, I know we see guys like Cobb, and we like to believe that because they got that kind of attitude that they don't take the sport serious. You can't underestimate a guy
That's
just
right.
because he acts like a clown.
Yeah.
He could have a large, huge personality, but man, the guy could be a warrior in the training, in the
Yeah.
boxing gym. So, um, do I give Blair Cobb a chance? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think this would be a good fight. But I just think Hooker just has better boxing skills, and I think after the third, maybe fourth round, he starts picking them apart a little bit. I'll say you, David.
You know what? I agree. You know what? It's gonna be an entertaining fight. It's not gonna be a boring fight. They're not gonna be chasing each other. I think that they're gonna have a couple of I mean, they're gonna both be in the center of the ring, and we're gonna see Hooker. I mean, not Hooker. We're gonna see Blair Cobbs. I mean, literally going toe to toe. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a great fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah, Pete Town. Yeah, Jamal Herring. That's who I was thinking of. But
Yes.
yeah, Hooker. Hooker. I like Hooker, man. And yeah, he's part of the Crawford camp. That's definitely gonna help him. He's in there, putting in some work with Crawford, who's one of pound for pound the best fighters there is right
Yeah.
now. So Cobb. I don't. This fight doesn't go the distance, David. Do you think it goes the distance?
Don't know, man. I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't follow either one of them. I mean, I've seen their fights.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I mean, this one I can't call. I can't call, man. I just can't call this one because I don't follow them. I don't. When I've seen their fights. I just glance them. I look at them, but I don't study them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So these two to me, I mean, it could be. I mean, all I know it is going to be an entertaining fight. I know it's going to be a good fight. It's not going to be a boring fight. It's going to be a good
Yeah,
fight. Yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and call it. I'm gonna say
Uh-huh.
after three,
Uh-huh.
maybe 4 rounds,
Hmm.
we just start seeing um
Hooker.
Hooker
Uh-huh.
start putting hands on him, and I believe by the eighth round he finishes him.
Okay.
But I think it's a good one, and
Yeah.
I definitely do give
Mhm.
Cobb a chance to win. But
Mhm.
a good fight, man, good fight to put
Yeah.
on the
It's going to be
card.
a
I,
good
I
fight.
I do
Yeah.
like it, but I definitely got Maurice Hooker,
Yeah. It's going to be a good
definitely.
fight.
Uh, Thoughts on Jose Cepeda versus Regis Progress? Whew, that's good, man.
That's a great Sean
That's
Cepeda. That is
that's
going to
yeah.
be, you know what? That's like watching Jose Ramirez against Regis Prograis. That's a fight we never got a chance to see, and I
Right.
always wanted to see it. But the winner of that is going to fight Jose Ramirez, and the
Mhm.
reason why Jose Ramirez, he was supposed to fight a Jose Cepeda, but he basically postponed his fight against him because he's getting married. He's getting married in October. They already have all the money set up, the hall, the priest, the church, everything set up. So he already signed a contract that he's going to win the winner of Jose Cepeda and Regis Prograis. That is going to be an outstanding fight. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every boxing gym that I've been to,
Mhm.
they said the number one killer of a fighter is a woman. Just saying. Hey, I'm
Hey,
just
he's been with this girl for 14 years. He's finally marrying her. He has like two kids with her. He's finally marrying her.
Oh man, no, that's gonna be a great fight. I'm with you on that one, David. And I think
Yes.
Regis Progress, man. The thing that I don't know is that man, he's got to stay more busy, and it's not really his fault too much. He's um he's a big risk and low reward. Not too many. He doesn't bring in a lot of money.
I had him winning against Josh Taylor. I had
Okay.
him winning, but the fight was, across the pond. It was in Taylor's backyard. The judges, I believe, were a little. I mean, it could have gone to me. I had him winning that fight. That was a great fight. And he would have been right now the world champion. I mean, he would have been the undisputed if he would have won that fight. I think if that fight would have been in Vegas or in America, I believe it would have been a fair group of judges, and I believe he would have won that fight.
Mm.
So I think he got the wrong end on that. But you know what? Fighting against Cepeda and Sean, I mean, Sean, well, you tell me when you're ready. You want me to give my prediction? I'll give my predictions. But all I have to say is that's a fight that I can't wait to see. It's going to be a great fight. Great fight.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
I agree. We'll definitely keep our eye on that one.
Yeah.
Pomono Soul Sound says Cobb got to get him early, or he's going to have problems later
Yes,
on.
he
I
is.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Experience.
Yeah,
Experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
If that fight goes past 5 rounds, I don't really give Cobb a chance anymore. I think it's all gonna be on Maurice Hooker
Yeah.
to take him out, and I'm calling it, man. I say 8 rounds. 8 rounds,
Yeah.
he takes him out. But I do see a pretty good fight. David,
Yeah.
let's get to the main event, man. This is my
Okay.
favorite
All
fighter
right.
right here. Let, let,
Yeah.
let, let's get to my man.
Yeah. All right, we got Virgil Ortiz, who's 18-0 with 18 knockouts against Michael McKinson, who is a southpaw with 22-0 with only 2 knockouts. And his last fight, when he was supposed to actually fight Virgil Ortiz, and Virgil came down with a sickness, was
Mhm.
against Alex Martin, who had a record of 17-3. Now 17-3, and that was no competition for McKinson because I saw the fight because I was looking forward to seeing Virgil, and then he had a cancel out a couple of days before. Um, it's gonna be, it's not gonna be a great fight. It's not going to be a great fight, but it's going to prepare Virgil Ortiz for Crawford or for Spence because I did see this fight today again, McKinson against Martin, and you know what? He throws the left, and when he throws, he dances back. So he likes to use the ring, and he knows how to cut off the ring. Martin does, but he doesn't have no power. What I see in that fight, Virgil Ortiz, 1 or 2 rounds going to test him. Might even knock him out in the second round, but he's not going to go past 4 or 5 rounds because Virgil Ortiz is a bull. Virgil Ortiz is not going to respect his power. He's going to run. That's the only thing that's going to keep him alive during the fight, McKinson. But it's good practice because he does know how to throw the left. So if he fights Crawford, he knows how to throw the left. That's the only good thing that I see. Good experience. It's a great experience fight for Virgil Ortiz, but Virgil Ortiz is going to knock him out.
I believe McKinson is a southpaw.
He is the
I
southpaw.
think.
The
Okay.
southpaw.
Okay.
Yes.
Um.
Yeah.
Look, this fight was supposed to take place a while back,
Mhm.
and then that's when we had the whole scare that Virgil Ortiz got sick, and he got like really sick.
Yes, he
Something
did.
I never even heard of.
Mhm.
And then when I looked into it, I was like, damn, this is bad,
Yeah.
Um, look, it's no secret. Damn, Joaquin's already saying Ortiz in 5 years.
I agree
No,
with you, Joaquin.
Look, it's no secret, man. Virgil Ortiz, he's my favorite fighter there is today.
Yeah,
I love this kid. I love everything about this kid. I like the way he conducts himself.
yeah,
I like his presentation. He's not a clown. He's not anything like that. He's just all about boxing.
mhm,
And one of his biggest problems is that he trains too hard. So
yes,
you got to tell him like, hey, whoa, kick back, relax a little bit,
mhm,
man. You're training too much. That's not a bad problem to have. I'd rather have that problem than to have a problem and say like, hey man, come on, you got to get in the gym, man. Come on, come on, come on. So I love everything about this kid. This fight right here, McKenzie, he's undefeated. He's yet to taste defeat.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I seen it. I watched this fight just like you did, David, and I think this fight needs to happen because it was supposed to happen already.
Mhm.
And I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to agree with Joaquin. He's going to take him out, man.
Yeah, he is.
He's
Yeah,
going to take him out. The fact that he's
mm,
just undefeated, like, orale, he's undefeated. Yeah, man, he only got two stoppages.
yeah,
Two stoppages, and I think, what was it, 22 wins? 20 wins
yeah.
or something?
He has 22-0 with only 2 knockouts.
Okay, Virgil Ortiz is a pretty big welterweight. He's a
Yes.
pretty big boy, man, for 147. That shows me right there, man, that you got pillow fist. Okay,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to keep Ortiz off of you.
No.
If you've only stopped two guys
Mhm.
in your 20 over 20 fights, man, you know what? You got a killer right across the ring from you, and he's gonna be on you, and he's gonna be on you fast, man. And I see it 5 rounds or
Or less.
less. I,
Yes.
I I'll probably say
Mhm.
3 rounds.
Yeah.
So I think this is good for Virgil just to get it out of the way.
Mhm.
Um, where do you see the fight ending, David?
I see it. I agree with you. Three, no more than five. So he'll knock him out in the third, fourth, or fifth round, and it's not going to go past five. Virgil Ortiz, he's a bull. He's too strong for him. He's not going to respect his power. Virgil Ortiz's problem, mark my words, is going to be it's going to be like Canelo fighting against Sanders. Saunders. He's going to have to chase him. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Virgil's going to have a hard time catching him, but once he catches him in the corner against the ropes, he's going to hurt him to the body. He's going to hurt him in the body, and he's going to come up with either the uppercut or he's going to come up with the right hook with a check hook, and that's call it a night, or a body shot, call it a night.
Jose R is saying fifth or sixth round. Do
Yeah.
you think do you think it could go past the fifth round if Michael McKenzie keeps using his legs and keeps dancing around?
Yes, of course. Yes, I mean it could go to all 12 rounds if he's that good, but he's not that good. But I mean, if he's in great shape, I mean he could run around the ring, and I see Virgil getting frustrated. I see Virgil getting frustrated and finally getting him off his game. I think his game plan is going to be to run a marathon. I think
Okay.
his game plan is going to be to run a marathon for 12 rounds. There's no way he could win. Well,
So you
I can't say that because it's boxing and
Mhm.
you never know. That punch could come, that Gabe Rosado punch could come.
Right.
And just, that Gabe Rosado punch. So I can never say that it always could happen. Yeah.
Do you believe McKinson's going in there to win or just to
Oh,
survive?
no, he's going in there to win. He's going in there to win, but
Okay.
he's never been hit as hard as he's going to get hit. He's never experienced what he's going to experience Saturday night. Never.
If it goes all 12, is that a little bit? Do we take a little bit of stock off Virgil Ortiz? Like, hey, Holmes, you're supposed to cut off the ring. You're supposed to finish this guy.
It's not going to go 12.
Okay.
I mean, I can't say it's not going to go 12. This fight's not going to go 12. I can't see it going 12.
Yeah, I don't see it going 12 either.
No,
I'm just sorry. But if it does, do we take a little bit away from Virgil Ortiz and say,
no,
you know
not at
what, we
all.
really
Yeah, no,
okay?
not at all. You know why? Because I mean, once again, I mean, there are certain fighters that no matter what, I mean, that's why Bubu Andrade, nobody wants to fight him because Bubu Andrade doesn't get in the center of the ring and fight or doesn't Bubu Andrade is very good at running, just like Sanders was. They're
Mm.
very good at running. So I mean, all it is just a learning lesson for Virgil, but I don't see it happening.
Well, look, it's a learning lesson for Virgil.
Yes, it is.
If he stop, if he sees Michael McKenzie just running around, running around, it's a learning for Virgil to say,
Cut the
okay,
ring.
here
Yes.
I got a guy who's not going to engage with me, right? He's going to keep running. I got to cut this ring off. Let me see how I can do that. Make those proper adjustments to accomplish that. If it goes all 12 rounds, yes, he gets the victory. Boom, time to move on. But to me personally, it's like, hey, homie, you know what? Man, you really got to learn a little bit more, man. This is your
Yeah.
time to learn that this fight
Yes.
right here. Don't let this go 12 rounds. You got the power. This guy's got pillow hands. 2 stoppages. I mean, come on, man. You're a big
Yeah.
boy. I'm sure you could take his punches. I'm sure that Virgil Ortiz can laugh at his punches, but you got to use this as an experience as a guy who's light on his feet and is going to move around and try to utilize all the ring. And he will utilize all the ring if you let him.
And you know what, Ed? Today they made the announcement. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, but today they announced that I believe it's a WBO. Somebody correct me, or WBOBA, whichever belt that Crawford has. I believe it's a WBO. They actually made today's winner, I mean Saturday's winner, the mandatory for Crawford. They made it the mandatory. So you know what? If Crawford doesn't fight Spence, his mandatory is the winner, which is going to be Virgil Ortiz. So now, could you? I mean, that would be awesome. And you know what? I don't care if he fights. I'll do my 100 push-ups. You know what I mean? I don't care to watch Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz, he's ready for Crawford. There's no doubt.
Really?
Virgil is ready for Crawford. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
come on. He's ready for the big boys now. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, let's throw it out there. What David just alluded to, man. There's a bet between the 3 chingones, los tres chingones, that if the fight between Crawford and Spence, if it's not made by this year,
yes.
okay, by the end of the year, David owes us 100 push-ups.
And then all at once, man, without stopping, 100
Okay.
push-ups. Yes.
If the fight is made between Crawford and Spence by this year, then Mike and myself, we owe 100 push-ups.
But you guys want to take a break. So Mike wants to take a break.
Look, I'm in pretty.
Mike wants to take a break.
I'm sure Mike does. I'm in pretty decent shape, but 100 push-ups all at once, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot right there. Let me see.
Yeah.
I think Ortiz is gonna throw, and McKenzie throws and get him out. He can run, but he can't hide. Yeah, he can run, but he can't hide. But that's
right.
Ortiz needs to make sure he establishes that you cannot hide. That's why I'm interested to see this. I'm sure Michael McKenzie is going to get on his bike. He's going to run around the ring. He's going to do what he needs to do to survive. I think he's going to feel Ortiz's power and say, like, damn it, I can't exchange with this guy. Let me get on my tippy toes and let me do my thing around the ring. This is why it's on Ortiz to say, I got to stop this guy. I got to chop this guy's legs off so I can go ahead and make him engage. And that's where I come in and I stop him. Now, what you were saying, Joaquin, Spence and Ortiz in Cowboy Stadium.
Oh, that'd be huge too, man.
Okay.
But he's not a mandatory with Spence. He's not a mandatory with this fight. He's a mandatory with Crawford. So it would be more Crawford.
Right.
You know, it would be more Crawford. Yes.
Okay. So because we all agree that Ortiz is going to win, man. Yeah. And if he doesn't win, for me, if it goes all 12, of course he still wins. But for me, it's just a little bit of a letdown. That's all it is. Just a little bit of a letdown. Like, come on, Virgil. Because, David, I've said this time and time again. I see good fighters, elite fighters, and I see special fighters.
Yeah.
Bam Rodriguez, special fighter. Shakur Stevenson, special fighter.
Yes.
Virgil Ortiz, special fighter. And if he doesn't finish Michael McKenzie on Saturday. To me, it's gonna be like, man, I don't know, man.
Hey, Boots
Not that you're
Ennis.
not special, but
Hey, but Boots Ennis, that's another special fighter that we're seeing.
yeah, listen, I
Boots
look,
Ennis. He's
Boots
a
Ennis
special
may
fighter,
okay,
bro. Yes.
maybe.
Yeah. You don't
I'm
see
not
you don't see him special?
not yet, not yet.
Really?
No, not
Oh,
yet,
he's
not yet.
special,
No,
man.
but if we're
Yeah.
talking about the welterweight division,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's a guy across the pond named Connor Ben. I see something special in that guy.
Really? I don't see
Yes.
it, brother. I don't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see it, man. I just see
Okay, you
well,
guys,
yeah.
I've been warning everybody.
I
Just
know you have. Yeah.
wait till this guy gets on an airplane and makes his way over
I
here.
can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't
I
wait.
can't wait
Yeah.
either. He's gonna be knocking some heads around.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Hectic? Okay, so Ortiz wins. Boom. We're kind of taking it for granted. We could do that. He can't. He needs to focus on the fight on Saturday, but we can go ahead and plan ahead.
Mhm.
Okay, he gets the victory. He does it in 5 rounds or less. Boom, knockout. The mic's in front of him. He's the mandatory now for the strap.
He's gonna call out Crawford. He's gonna call out Crawford.
And that's not the first time.
Yeah.
But I think this time with the mandatory being issued, which we all know in boxing, it doesn't guarantee the fight. You know, we know that. We know in the world of boxing, it just because a sanctioning body comes out and says, now you're the mandatory to fight, you know, our champion, it doesn't guarantee that that fight happens next or that it ever happens. However, man, David, I don't know about that fight, man.
Between Virgil Ortiz and Crawford.
Yeah, that does worry me.
But you know what?
It worries me.
I know, but even if Virgil loses, I mean, he'll be okay. You know what I mean? I mean, look at Canelo. He lost against the great Mayweather, and he was okay. You know what I mean? But my gut feeling is I want to see Virgil Ortiz beat him, and I think Virgil Ortiz can beat him. I really do. But even if he loses, I'm okay with it because Canelo was fine after his loss against Mayweather. Ortiz would be fighting against, losing against he's the best pound for pound right now. You know what I mean? But Virgil will stand up and he'll be even better next time and he'll beat him next time. I don't see a loss here, you know, but I see Virgil Ortiz winning. Yeah.
Okay. Listen. Okay. I'm with you. It's a shame that the boxing world is not so much with what you're saying. You suffer a loss, and I blame the Mayweather era on this.
Yes.
The fact that you suffer a loss, now people just kind of throw you away. I don't like that. Virgil Ortiz is still young. How old is Virgil? Is he 20?
I think he's like 23, 22,
Okay, 23 years old. This fight, I think, is going to be like his 19th or barely his 20th fight. 19th, 20th fight, one of those two. So he still has a long career in front of him. Should he get in there with a veteran like Crawford and suffer a loss? Yeah, I'm with you, David.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't take away the fact that, hey, man, you know what? This kid reached for greatness.
Yes. Just like Canelo.
Yeah.
Canelo fighting Bivol, going up 2 weight classes. He's fighting for greatness. And that's one thing I like about Virgil. One of his last interviews, he actually talked about that. He goes, I'm fighting for greatness. I'm not just fighting for a belt. I'm fighting for, and you know what? Those are the special fighters. Canelo's a special fighter.
Yeah.
Those are the special fighters you were talking about.
Yeah. Joaquin is saying
24.
That he's 24 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? If he's going to suffer a loss, yeah, I'm with you. And I'm not saying he's going to lose against Crawford should that fight happen. Look, I'm going to be rooting for Ortiz. That's my guy right there, man. That's my favorite fighter there is today. I'll definitely be rooting for him. I love this kid, man. But I just think Crawford at the moment,
that would be the real test for Crawford.
I just think he's a little bit the real too much, man. But what a wow! You know, now I really want to see this fight because I want to see what Ortiz says after the fight. Yeah. You know,
but what do you think? What do you think about Spence and Boots Ennis?
Oh yeah, Yeah, I'll look
It's
at
the
all these guys.
same. I mean,
Yeah.
you got a young fighter against the old fighter. I mean,
Mhm,
what I say, old 33 years old, and you
mhm.
got Virgil Ortiz. I mean, what do you, our listeners, what do you guys think about Spence and Boots Ennis? Now that would be equivalent to Ortiz and Crawford, but on the
Yeah,
other side, Boots Ennis and Spence, it would be equivalent. I mean,
yeah.
both of those fights would be outstanding, man. I would
I
like to see those four fights better than Spence and Crawford. I'd like to see the other ones better.
really.
Oh, heck yeah. That'd be
Really?
great.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
So instead of Crawford versus Spence, you'd rather see Spence versus Boots and
Yes.
Ortiz versus Crawford?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Okay,
And then the
I'm not
winner of
mad at
that,
you.
they faced each other. The winner of those, because you know what? You got young blood coming in, and these guys, they're going to hurt these older guys. You know what I mean? And whether Spence and Crawford win, who cares? But I mean, you got these guys are finally getting tested by the young blood. The young bloods are learning, and then you have Spence and Crawford. If they win, now you have them face each other. Now that would be, I mean, talking about mega fights. Those would be great fights.
Okay, here's where I've been staying. Let me
Yes.
see. Joaquin says, remember, Crawford is almost on the fence of being past his prime too. Plus, he's not active.
That's
Yeah,
why I would like to see
yeah.
that
I
Ortiz
think,
because of
yeah,
that.
I
Yes.
think Crawford is like 35 years old, still
Yeah.
very good. I think he's still an elite fighter. But you're right. Yeah, he is. He's starting to get up there in age. Um, I'm not mad at you at that, David. As a matter of fact, if
Yeah.
that does happen, I got no complaints of the
Oh,
Spence
that'd
and
be
Crawford
awesome,
fight not
man. Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
I, I don't want to see these young guys fight each other yet.
No, I don't
Not
want to see
yet.
them fight each other. I
No,
don't want to
not
see that.
yet. No,
Not
I
yet.
want
Yes.
I want to see them in there with a couple of the other veterans. I want to see them in there with the Danny Garcias, the Keith Thurmans, the
Yes.
Adrian Broners.
The
Those
Connor
guys.
Benz. The Connor Benz.
No, 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 Connor Ben. He's a destroyer, man. Connor Ben. I'm telling. Mark
Hey,
my words,
he's
man.
welterweight.
No, I mark my words. Connor Ben,
Yeah.
man. Wait till he makes his way over here.
Now, could you imagine him, one of the fighting Virgil or fighting Boots Ennis? That'd
that
be
what a
good,
fight,
man.
man.
Doing the
What a
two
fight
matador.
that'll be.
Doing it,
What a
kind of.
fight that'll
Yeah.
be. But I will say this, okay? If that fight were to get made,
Which
with,
one? Or
with
Crawford and Ortiz?
yeah, with Crawford and Ortiz,
Okay.
Spence, I truly 100% my heart of heart believe he will not fight one of these young bloods. I think he'll end up fighting
Oh
Keith
no.
Thurman.
Yeah, yeah. There's no way he's going to fight a young blood. No,
Yeah, no,
it's too
he'll
much.
end up
It's too
fighting
much
Keith
at
Thurman.
risk. There's too much at risk.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll end up fighting Keith Thurman, who still stands a chance of getting in there with Errol Spence Jr. There's still that, he's sticking his ugly head in their business, and that fight could be made. They're both PBC guys.
Well, you know what? He just called out Lara at 155. He's actually today or yesterday called out Lara. He wants to go to 155 because he wants to make that fight with Danny. He wants one fight at 155 and then come back to 154 and fight Danny for the revenge fight for Danny Garcia.
Yeah,
So I see him
yeah.
going up.
You talking about Thurman?
Thurman, yeah, he called out Lara.
Yeah, I look, there's a lot of call outs. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
man, I want this guy. I want that guy. I want this next. I don't see him going after Andy Lara, man. I don't see it. I still believe he really, really wants to get in there with Errol Spence before anything else. And I think that's possible. I really do, man. They're both on the PBC side of things.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. I've been saying this. I hope I'm wrong. But I do see that as Errol Spence's next.
I hope you're wrong too, man, because I hate to see that fight. Because you know what?
And remember,
I used to be a huge Thurman fan. I mean, I like Thurman, but he's done. Not at championship level. He's done. You know.
Yeah, he lost it once he lost his hair, man. Once he cut his hair.
Yeah.
But remember this too, David.
Mhm.
Those two guys have not fought each other.
No.
Thurman and Spence, they never fought each other. So the PBC can sell it that way. They can sell like, hey, this ain't no rematch.
Mhm.
These guys were supposed to fight a couple of years back when Thurman had his nice little ponytail going. It didn't happen. These guys are facing each other for the first time ever. You know, they can sell the fight. They really can. And
Yeah.
I don't really want to see it. I mean, if they have it, I'm definitely gonna watch it. Don't get me wrong, but that's not the fight that I'm aiming for, man.
Yeah, no, neither am I.
Let me see. It's not what they say, it's what they do. Thurman says all kinds of stuff to stay relevant. Yeah,
Very true.
yeah,
Yes.
I agree. I agree. And in my opinion, I thought Josecito Lopez beat him. I thought he
Yes,
did,
he did. Yeah.
but Josecito Lopez is
Almost had him.
yeah, he's a journeyman. Thurman
Yeah.
was the name, but man, what a great fight. So, man, with all this, David, are you gonna be watching the fights live?
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. Yes, I'll be
Okay.
definitely be watching the fights. Can't wait. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Look, this is where I get penalized, man. This is where I'm like, why? Why does this have to happen to me? I'm
Mhm.
gonna be out in Las Vegas for this bachelor party. And my buddies, they're boxing fans, but they don't not like that, not they're not boxing chingones like you and I and everybody here on the chat. They're not like that, man. They're gonna just be like, come on, man, you could just watch that later. And I'm gonna be like, man, come on, man, I want to go watch the fight. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping I could find a place to watch it live. At the same time, I'm there to hang out with a buddy of mine. We've known each other since we were kids. And so that's a sacrifice I'll have to make, which I'm not really all over social media like that. So I can go the entire night without knowing who won. I don't get those updates and,
Yeah.
hey, man, did you see this? Did you see that? That doesn't happen with me. My phone doesn't blow up with all these alerts. I make sure I don't have that stuff. So I could go the entire night without knowing what happened and then go rewatch it the next day and be like, okay, cool. Bam, there it is, man. So I hope I'm able to watch it live. I'm going to talk to the guys, be like, hey, guys, let's go hit a bar, man. And this is, I'll find one that's showing the fight and let's just watch the fight, even if it's just the main event, which shouldn't take long. If it takes long, I'm going to be just a little disappointed, man. Let me see. Hectic Spence said he would never fight Thurman because Thurman didn't give Spence a shot. Yes, Hectic, that may be true, but look, man, money's there. Money is there, and if Spence doesn't fight Thurman, then who's he gonna fight? If he doesn't fight, if the Crawford fight does not happen, who's he gonna fight? There's no other name unless he offers Danny Garcia a rematch, which I got no idea who would want to watch that. That I really do not want to see that again. So, Andres, gracias, Andres. Let me see.
Yeah, Andres knows boxing, and so does Joaquin. Well,
Oh
all
yeah,
these
yeah.
guys that come on our show, they know
Thurman
boxing.
is free money for Spence at this point. See, that's the thing. Before we wrap it up, that's kind of the thing why, if I'm putting pieces of the puzzle together, David,
Mhm.
this is one of the reasons why I think Thurman versus Spence is next. Because Thurman is not a threat. I mean, it's boxing. We've already said it. Anybody stands a chance. We get it. But Spence, I believe, would take care of Thurman a lot more
Yes.
easily than
Yes, they
any
would.
of the other guys.
Yeah.
That fight does sell. He does make a bag. He does not make as much money as he would with Crawford, but the Crawford fight's still there.
But
It's
you know
still
what? I
going to
don't
be
see it being a pay-per-view fight. I
this
don't
one.
see it. Yeah, Spence against Thurman. I don't see that pay-per-view. I don't see people paying for that.
It's PBC.
Yeah.
They've sold us.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. They
They
showed King
sold us
Kong on
Charles
New Year's
Martin
Eve.
versus King
You're
Kong
absolutely right.
Ortiz.
Yeah,
They've
you're
sold
absolutely
us,
right. Yeah,
Andy Ruiz
yeah.
versus
King Kong.
Ariola.
Yeah, yeah,
The fight that I'm going to, Andy
yeah.
Ruiz versus King Kong
You're
Ortiz.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So I,
Yeah.
I, I think they'll sell that as pay per view, and I
Yes.
think Spence can make some pretty good money against Thurman, and then the Crawford fight is still there to go and make. Depends what Crawford does. you
Yeah.
know. But if it goes down the way you said, David, if Crawford ends up fighting Virgil Ortiz, I'm not mad at it, man.
Oh,
I'm
me
not.
neither am I. I'm excited. Hey, but before I forget, you know what? Prior to going live, I was talking to David Martinez from dmboxing.com. The guy is a historian when it comes to boxing. You go to his house, he lives in Santa Barbara. He has probably a 22, 23, 2,400 square foot home. Every part of his house, you walk in. I mean, I have my man cave here where I live. His whole house is a man cave. This guy has been following boxing since 1961. This guy, as a little boy, lived in Santa Barbara. Every Friday night, he would get on a bus by himself, come to his tia's house and his abuelita's house in East LA to go to the Saturday night fights at the Forum. He did that his whole life. The only time he ever missed it, I think, was 4 years when he was in Vietnam. And when he got back from Vietnam, he did it again. And we're gonna have him on our show. Hopefully, I told him I was gonna announce it. He's gonna confirm the 19th. Hopefully he's gonna be on our show on a Friday night show. And I've had him on my other show, Rolling with the Punches. Ed, he's on with us and he has his phone and he's walking around his house showing you Sugar Ray Leonard, showing you Sugar Ray Robinson, signed autographs. And the way he breaks down boxing from Mexico, I've never heard anybody. Wait till we have him. And another person that I'm working on coming on our show, there's a guy by the name of Salvador, Big Sal, from he calls himself the boxing guru. If you follow Twitter, this guy has several thousand people following him. The guy knows boxing. He's hilarious. I'm also working on getting him on our Friday night show. I try to get him on our Spanish show, but I think he's more comfortable in English. He's right there from Los Angeles. I believe he's from El Monte. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Have you heard of him? The boxing guru?
No,
Well,
no,
no,
no. Just the books that you told me about.
no. This is another guy. This is Sal,
Okay,
the boxing guru. So I'm
okay, gotcha.
hoping we're gonna get him on our show. This guy last night had dinner with Fisher, with Kim, all these boxing writers for ESPN. He had dinner with them last night in Pasadena. No, in
Okay.
Long Beach. So this guy is a great. He knows boxing just like us. And so we're looking at bringing him on board. And the last one, before I forget, is Gene Aguilera. He's written 3 books.
Gina Aguilera, yes.
Oh, I'm telling you, man, if you guys are listeners, love reading about fighters from East LA, fighters from Southern California, this is one of his books, Lost Stories of West Coast Latino Boxing. The other one is Mexican American Boxing in Los Angeles. Every fighter that has fought in Los Angeles, that's from East LA, La Puente, Boyle Heights, is in this book. And then Latino boxing in Southern California. I got all 3 of his books. I'm hoping to get him on our show also. This guy's another historian. But for our Spanish show, he's going to hopefully get me El Pua, Ruben Olivares for our Spanish show on Wednesday nights.
Mhm.
So, guys, hey, man, those of you that are watching, stay tuned, man. We got some great people coming on our show, and it's going to be great, man. I mean, hearing
Yeah,
the legends talk, the
yes.
historians, these dudes love boxing, Ed, the way you and myself and Mike love boxing. I mean, you just don't get tired of hearing them. So I'm excited. Starting the 19th, we're going to have a lot of good guests coming on. I'm excited. It's going to be great.
I saw the interview that you did with that gentleman on Rolling with the Punches. His
Jose
house,
Benavides.
yeah, everything is
Yes,
just boxing. Boxing is in his blood, man. I can't wait.
exactly, man.
I can't wait to chop it up with these gentlemen, man.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna love it, man. It's gonna
It's
be
the
good.
greatest thing, man. I
It
can't
is.
take this stupid
Yeah,
smile off my face just
I
thinking
know. Me
about it.
too.
Hey, with
Uh,
that, guys,
yeah.
okay, there's not gonna be a show tomorrow unless David, unless you and Mike, and if anybody wants to talk about the
No, no, no.
weigh-ins,
We'll wait. We'll
I'm
wait
gonna
till
be on
next
the road.
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday we'll talk. We'll do Wednesday our Spanish show, and then we'll do
Mhm.
next Friday our English show. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. And
All right.
maybe sometime next week we'll go ahead and recap what happened over the weekend as well. But with that, just
Oh
want to send
wow, I did
prayers
not
to
know
the
that,
people
man.
of
That he
Puerto
had Ray
Rico.
Corona. Okay.
Oh, does he? He had surgery a few days ago. Oh man,
Prayers,
you know what?
prayers for Ray.
Yeah, just a
Yes.
quick little story
Yeah.
on Ray Corona. I went. went to go watch shoot, I don't know what fight it was because I've been there at the Fantasy Springs casino out in
Mhm.
Indio, California. And I've been there to watch quite a few fights. And Ray Corona, uh, I was just coming out of the restroom and he was just coming in. So I'm like, hey, what's up, Ray? And everything like that, right? He's all like, oh, what's going on, man? And, you know, it was just him and I. We shook hands. Real cool Vato, man. Real cool dude, down to earth guy. And then after the fights, we went to go have dinner. Not with him, but, you know, we went to go have dinner at a restaurant there at Fantasy Springs. And guess who was there at the table right next to us? Him, along with other referees, man. And they were
Wow.
there, and I chopped it up with him a little bit more. Cool, down to earth guy, man. So,
Well, you know what? He's one of your homeboys. I think he's either from Boyle Heights or from Big Hazard.
yeah,
No, from Bassett. I
yeah,
believe
yeah.
he's from
No,
Bassett.
I-
Yeah, Bassett. I think it's
somewhere from
Bassett. You know,
Puente. Somewhere from Puente,
Puente.
I believe.
Well,
Yeah,
his son is a Los Angeles police officer, and his other son is like a Army Ranger. Yeah, he's a badass in the war. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But one of them is a Los Angeles cop. That
yeah.
guy's a
He
good man,
was a
man.
cool dude, man.
Prayers for Ray Corona. May God heal him in Jesus' name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Speedy recovery, man.
Yeah.
I like see him referee,
Me
just
too,
the way he
man. I
walks
like
around
that
the
dude.
ring. He walks like a straight vato around the ring.
Oh,
Hey, everybody, man, you guys enjoy the weekend, enjoy the fights, and let's see what happens afterwards. Let's see what Virgil Ortiz says on the mic afterwards, man. I'm excited for this. So with that, David Contreras, man, you know what it
God
is.
bless you,
man.
brother. Yes.
Enjoy the
Órale.
weekend. Shout out to all our chingones and our chingonas out there. Los Tres Chingones Boxing. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Órale pues.
Vale.